with ComicsGate, I know there's like some confusion talking about gatekeeping and this and that. People keep saying that it's not political. I mean, it's a customer movement where the customer's treated with respect, but I think you've been driving home the point that we're just trying to keep the destructive politics out, like the social justice politics out. Can you elaborate more for people who aren't really clear as to what ComicsGate really is?
When ComicsGate comes forward and says, hey, there are social justice warriors that are changing the comic books and using them as a political platform, and we want that to stop. And we represent a movement of people who want that to change. ComicsGate's a political movement. That's a political idea right there. That is a political agenda to stop SJWs from putting their politics in the cut. It doesn't mean that we have a set of politics of our own, but just saying that can't happen anymore is a political statement. So we are a political movement, no matter what, based on consumer demands. Mm-hmm. At the same time, what we're hoping for is that politics no longer rule the mainstream. Left-wing politics no longer rule the mainstream comic book industry. There's some confusion about it. People say there shouldn't be any politics in comics at all. I don't know who started saying that, but that can't possibly be true. Every comic book has some measure of the writer's political ideas in it. The problem is with the current left, the people who are writing these stories today, is that's all they have. I mean, all they're offering is a political lecture. They're doing it instead of a story. And Cyberfrog, of course, is a very political comic book because it's talking about those ideas that I just said. It's comparing cultural Marxism to an alien scourge. Like that's a political statement there. That's a real fucking political statement. There's no way around that. So I do feel like ComicsGate is a political movement. I think when we deny that, it's easy to kind of shut us up by saying, so what do you stand for? Well, we don't want politics in the stead of a story. That's a political statement, no matter what. We should be able to do whatever we want. One thing that shouldn't happen is there shouldn't be political discrimination in comics. And at the same time, there's one group of people who exist, that's their sole purpose, and to create gatekeeping, to discriminate against people for their politics, because what their goals are is to replace art with propaganda.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Problem solved.
So it's a real interesting thing. We're saying no political discrimination. We're against that, and yet we can't abide SJWs. Why? Because their entire purpose is political discrimination. Therefore, ComicsGate is an anti-SJW movement. And we must gatekeep them. We can't allow them in. When we allow SJWs in, we've defeated our own purpose. They're going to eventually rot our movement from the inside and eventually make it so that we don't have our creative freedom anymore and that there is nothing but political discrimination. So it's complicated, but it's not complicated. Mm-hmm. It's people, it's mostly just, if you understand that ComicsGate is saying what our purpose is to restore comic books to a state of creative freedom, and therefore SJWs and people who disagree with that, activists for the left, must be gatekept. It's fairly simple.